The wild, wet weather of summer 2021 so far. There's been record rainfall and blistering heat too. Something monumental is happening around us, say scientists. After studying the changeable conditions we also endured last year, they concluded the UK is already undergoing climate change that is disruptive and dramatic. The Met Office warning the sort of extremes we worried about in the future are happening now.
The heat waves are going to become more frequent and more intense. The flooding events are going to become more extreme and more record-breaking. And so we need to see not only the pledges and the policies that are being made by government, but we need to see action. We need to see changes taking place.
The report found the last 30 years have been nearly 1 degree warmer than the previous 30 for the UK and 6% wetter. Last year was actually in the top 10 warmest, wettest and sunniest on record, the only year ever to fall in the top 10 for all three. So what can we do, if anything, to act on climate change? Beds End in South London is the country's first large-scale eco-friendly housing development. The UK is proposing to cut its carbon emissions to almost zero by 2050, but here they're already doing it.
We've got solar panels to make electricity. We've got an on-site power plant that makes heat from waste wood, tree surgery waste. And we buy the remaining energy that we use from a guaranteed renewable supplier. So everyone can switch to a guaranteed renewable energy supplier tomorrow.
But the realities of the present are also causing huge problems. Nicola saw her basement flat deluged earlier this month and says the drains must be fixed before the atmosphere is.
Flood for me, it wasn't rainwater, it was most of the sewer, because obviously it came up from the drains. Obviously the rain overfilled that sewer, so it come up. But for me, it was more the sewer, the pipe work. Something needs to be done to stop this from happening in the future.
The UK has of course come off lightly compared to the recent horrors experienced across parts of Europe and in China. This new warning suggests even a small increase in the global average temperature will trigger many more such events. And as California struggles to quench its current wildfires, it all means regular 40-degree heat waves could eventually be recorded in the UK. Julian Drucker, 5 News.
Well, with the UK government hosting the UN Climate Change Conference in November, ministers say they are leading the way. Let's catch up with our political editor, Andy Bell, who's at Westminster now. Andy, what is the ambition here?
Well, you can't fault the ambition. The UK government, as we heard, wants to get to carbon neutral by 2050. That will include, among other things, no more new petrol or diesel cars sold after 2030. And then you do have COP26, this big summit happening in Glasgow in just 4 months' time, where all the world leaders will be gathering together. Britain will have to come up with a climate change agreement that everyone can sign up to at that, or that meeting will be judged a failure.
They've already got tough targets. Are they making much headway with them?
There has been some progress, especially when it comes to taking coal out of electricity generation in the UK. We've got quite a good story to tell on that. But after that, it inevitably comes down to money. There was an announcement today which people who are concerned about flooding that we were hearing in Julian's piece might be grateful to hear, which is £5.2 billion over the next 6 years to go into flood and coastal erosion defences. But after that, there is another big bill, according to the Office for Budget Responsibility. That is £1.4 trillion. They say that's what it'll cost to get to carbon neutral by 2050. Inevitably, taxpayers are going to pay for that, and probably consumers too, in the form of higher electricity bills.